Hello, and thanks for joining the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. My name is Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, controversy after Governor Wike signed Neighbourhood Watch curved bill into law. And later on the show, more reactions. Trail Dapchi schoolgirls return. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Lekon Fatodu, and Asukwo James. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us once again. Last Thursday, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike signed into law the State Neighbourhood Watch Safety Corps. Now, his heart must have been in the right place considering the level of insecurity being experienced in different parts of the country, especially that Rivers State. While that law is meant to support security agencies with intelligence and information gathering, many believe Wike has a sinister motive. Now, they allege that the governor is creating his private militia by arming youths in an already volatile state. But Governor Wike insists that his Neighbourhood Watch Corps is a replica of what is already in existence in Lagos State. Should we believe that this law has been the missing link to ending violence in the nation's treasure base? Now, let's watch Governor Wike while he was signing the law earlier.
The comment, your input into that law. So by now you should be conversant with the details of that law before it is signed into law.
Well, sir, you know the political situation.
Political.
The government has made up its mind to create
No, it's not. That's not the issue. Have you seen the details of that law?
We don't have the details.
So you have not seen it?
I have not seen it, sir.
And then obviously that is against what I said. Yeah. You are supposed to see it before it is passed into law. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are supposed to see the local the draft of that law before they pass it into law. No, you see, you have to write to the governor now. You have to know details of that law to see that it conforms with all our laws in this country. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, earlier I told you that it was the signing of that law. No, this is the police headquarters. That's the Inspector General of Police actually talking with the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State. And you can see the controversy that has generated is as if the law, the police management, they are not too happy with that law. Babajide, Lagos is cited as a prototype, but I've seen Lagos State's Neighbourhood Watch, led by former Deputy Inspector General of Police, that is Aoga Israel Ajao. And the way they've been going about their things, I see them sometimes on bicycle, sometimes I see them, yes, sometimes I see them on very flashy car, you know, but they don't take up arms, they wear uniform, well-dressed, good, and since they started, they've not been mentioned in any scandal. And how effective it has been, I don't know about that, but it has been, they've served as like compliments according to what's the law. Now, what will make Wike's own in Rivers State? Why are people, you know, raising eyebrow about this Neighbourhood Watch? Since he's done, the thing is achieved in Lagos and we have it in Lagos State, why will Wike's own be different?
Yeah, because Wike said that this law is patterned after that of Lagos. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly actually authored that bill at the time. And I remember that the governor of Lagos took quite some time before he gave his assent. Any governor would do that because, one, the Constitution says clearly that there shall be only one police. So any semblance of a police force within a state must be in contravention of the Nigerian Constitution. So the governor of Lagos State took his time, and at that point, the House here in Lagos were becoming impatient that why has this bill not been given assent by the governor? It's meant to improve security in the state and all that. And invariably, the governor signed the bill, and the Lagos Neighborhood Watch was launched with so much fanfare and all that. But the difference between the Rivers State Neighborhood Call Law and that of Lagos State is like night and day. One, there is no portion in the Lagos law where the core members are permitted to carry arms.
Really?
Yes.
No, okay.
Whereas in Wike's version, some members of the core are going to be allowed to carry assault weapons.
Wow.
Secondly, he can, by the letters of that law, he can also direct them to arrest and prosecute, which means that the power to detain, they will have the power to detain, and that's why
so the governor can direct them
that this,
to arrest,
yes,
arrest this person
arrest and prosecute. So how do you want to do it? That means he already has a police force in place in the state, and in a volatile state like Rivers. Because if you remember, before the last election, Rivers was always in the news. Political assassinations, cult killings, and all that. And coming from a governor who said that the state does not even need SARS, that there was peace in the state was conducive enough for people to live in, no need for SARS, you are going to be worried. Because if you don't want SARS, then what is the neighborhood, your neighborhood court going to do?
That some of them will be allowed to carry arms.
Yes, they will be by the letters of that law.
That's baffling.
So there's no way that the APC and other opposition parties in the state won't be worried. Because even me, when I listen to Wike talk, even his voice, the way he talks scares me. Not to talk of people, and I'm so far away. If I can be so scared of someone who is so far away from me, you can imagine the predicament of people in that state, in such a volatile state. And if they can see what is coming, that is why some of them have gone to court, that the courts should rule that this whole Rivers Neighborhood Law is a nullity, because anything that contravenes our constitution automatically will be rendered a nullity by our courts. It is state police that he is trying to bring back through the back door. He's trying to bring state police through the back door. This is my own...
Not like Lagos State model.
No.
That adopted the federal government police, just equip them.
In name.
The name.
In name, in name is a photostat of the Lagos law. In name. But in the letters of the law, in the provisions that in the content of the law, then you see things that will really scare you.
When I read it from the surface, Governor Wike signs neighborhood police
neighborhood call law. Yes,
I just said
the name is exactly the same.
What's the hula baloo about this?
The name is exactly the same as Lagos. And don't forget, he also during that, there are other bills, similar bills, all designed to address insecurity in the state. But people will be scared. People will be scared.
No how. Lekon, you stay in Europe, and we were an era of where you say Met Police, you find is it MI5?
Yeah, MI5.
You find MI5 and everything.
And we have community policing as well.
Community policing,
exactly.
The modus operandi, the way they work, and it's different from ours here, as in the the level of maturity and temperament and everything there. But do you think a country like Nigeria were ripe for states to start having something replica or like state police?
Yeah, I think at this moment, with the challenges that the country is facing, that there shouldn't be no limit to how far the states or the federal government can go in terms of making preventive measures and ensuring that there is security of lives and property. Normally or ordinarily, this kind of initiative will have been commended, like the one of Lagos State that has been cited by the River State government is similar to what you have on the streets of London, where you have, people who are non-official police officers who can help in intelligence gathering, information gathering, that can actually tell you, like for instance, when we're growing up here in the country, in Nigeria, within the neighborhood, when there is a challenge or when there is an act of criminality, they can tell you that, this is an individual who has done this. For instance, I was living in, I used to live in Ilopeju then when we were growing up. If anything happens in Onekpan or Fadi, and somebody has reported that incident, within the community, not the police, they can tell that, okay, this is an individual that did this. So, that should have been the work of engaging people, indigenous people within the community to help to combat criminality. And that is the primary essence of neighborhood watch or vigilante groups, to just help to deepen the effort of police, gather intelligence
not
and
to
share,
prosecute,
not to prosecute or bear arms and all that. And looking at River State being one of the hotbeds of political violence in Nigeria, or all form of, criminalities, the issue of courtesan, the issue of kidnapping is so rampant in that society. And you will see that the governor has just signed 3 bills into law. The first one is the Neighbourhood Watch Safety Call Law. The second one is the River State Courts, secret courts, and similar activities prohibition law. The third one is the kidnap law. You would ordinarily have commended the governor for that action. But when you cannot see through the law, you see the issue of, the neighborhood guys usurping the responsibilities of the police. Is a challenge, not exactly. There's going to be conflict of interest. It's actually a challenge to the Constitution of Nigeria and to the rules of the police within the state. And that's why many people are talking about, if these people are given the opportunity of state policing, it's not going to be as if they're going to address the challenges of, violent crimes or criminality within the society. They're probably just going to use it to serve their own interests. So that's the challenge that we have in that direction.
Asuko, now, should Governor Wike, should he have gone ahead to, sign the law, sign the bill into law without at least a word from the Inspector General of Police? That's, okay, IGP, look at it, hope there are no conflicting areas, or go through the police legal department, because I know the police, they have their legal section. Go through this thing and make your recommendations and comment, because I'm sure what we have in Lagos State would have gone through that kind of scrutiny, so in order not to raise eyebrow when the public hearing and everything, the process of the public hearing and everything will happen. So now the IGP is now saying, are you aware, asking the commissioner, are you aware of the content of this law? Did you tell the governor? With the question he's asking, that means something is fishy.
It's quite unfortunate that we have some governors who want to take laws into their own hands. Because if you look at...
Yes, that's the beauty of federalism.
No, if you look at even the Constitution, in section, I think 214, thereabout, gives the CP, he has the supervisory role, to oversee the policing in that in every state. That is in every state command. That the CP, anything that wants to come like the neighborhood watch, the vigilante, anything that has to do with security, the CP must be involved. But because the governor already has this bitterness, I want to use that word, bitterness, over the RRS. He has been fighting the RRS for God knows when.
SAS.
SAS, not RRS, SAS. You know, so he has this bitterness for the police, and I'm even surprised that he still has, you know, police around him. You understand?
Maybe which someone replace them.
Maybe that is what he would do eventually, to replace the original police officers with his own men. You know, so the thing is, the Constitution already says that the Constitution already says that the Commissioner of Police should be involved in it. And what stops him from calling the Commissioner of Police and saying, this is what I want to do? Because Lagos State did it. And I want to tell you,
be conflicting with the role
definitely,
of
because the police are not just there for their sake. They are there to protect us. If they are not doing their work well, it's another thing. But we have to give them their role. We have to give them their regard. Their constitutional role is for them to protect. And for anybody to bring another security outfit into his own state, the police must be involved. And that is why the IGP was very, very furious with the CP and saying, did they involve you in making this law? Because the CP has, even if you involve other people, the stakeholders, the residents, because even till today, I'm still telling you, Ayo, so many Rivers residents are still lost over the law. Because in Rivers, Ayo, every street in Rivers has one person or the other involved in cultism.
How safe? Now, Jide, what we are looking at here, you know, there is one topic that we've not sat down because we planned that we're going to even dedicate a whole hour, and which might not be even enough. Yes. This issue of state policing. And I read one article, I think I forwarded that article to you, Femi Falana's position and everything. And I've been meeting people and they will say, no, why is this person against a progressive idea? Why is this person that it's time that Nigeria, this is 2018, we should roll with the flow, we should do it the way it's been done all over the world. Why are you scared about this state police issue?
As I've said, if we want to discuss state police, we need an hour. And I don't want to start something that I will not complete. Because I'm thoroughly opposed to state police, especially given the attitudinal disposition of the current generation of governors. People are demolishing people's homes for no reason. You demolish a man's home and the homes around it are left. You are demolishing people's homes for political reasons. What will you do if you have
state police?
If you have your own police, you will stand in the middle of the road and you will order policemen to be slapping people, your own police. And these are governors who can't pay salaries regularly. How will they fund state police? And if you don't fund them properly, they will turn their guns against you and I. Exactly. So because it's always important to go back to history, we should be able to tell our people what happened with the Native Authority Police. And the victims of Native Authority Police are still alive. On the day when we want to discuss, we will call them directly. We will call them directly. Children of people like J.S. Olawoyin in Kwara, that the then Emir of Ilorin thoroughly disgraced him. They are alive. They will be able to say this is what they did. People like Tanko Yakase, who would have been dead by now because of Native Authority Police. They are alive. They will be able to call in and say, this is what happened. And there are so many people like that, especially in Kano, because it was a crime to belong to NEPU. Once you, Elements Progressive Union, it was a crime. Yeah. It was a crime. And they went after NEPU elements, Amino Kano, even Gambosa, about NEPU elements at that time. So, but the man who wants to come up with his own native authority police, let us talk about him, and that is the man who is in Rivers. Is from the summary of the law that he has come up with, his own native authority police will be able to bear arms in the performance of their duties. They will be able to detain citizens. They will be able to conduct searches on people's premises. They will be able to prosecute offenders. They will be able to arrest offenders with or without a warrant. They will be able to investigate crime.
Jide,
if this is not...
Jide, is it not because of the peculiar nature in River States, the level of insecurity, the proliferation of small arms
what will the
in
police
River
do,
States?
I'm not saying
that motivated the governor to say, I want to have this.
Whatever he wants to have, once it contravenes the constitution of our country, it will be resisted. It should expect to be resisted once his plan or a law that he comes up with is in contravention of the constitution of our country. Nobody can be bigger than the state.
Exactly.
And as a Nigerian citizen, you are governed by the laws of our country. Except you want to relocate to Ghana. Some people relocated to Ghana before an election some time ago. So he cannot take actions in contravention of our laws. Secondly, before he hurriedly passed this bill into law, before he hurriedly signed this bill, there were pending cases against it. The terrified opposition elements went to court to say, court, please, let's have your position on this law, on this bill that this governor wants to, on this law that he wants to come up with. He didn't wait for the resolution of those cases in court. I mean, the present generation of governors, the manner in which they disrespect our courts is appalling. I've seen a governor demolish a home at a time when the court said, halt action. Now, how would they feel? Those are the same people that when you do something that they don't like, they will cite all kinds of reasons. They will say you did it for politics. You are thinking about 2019. You are doing that. And you see the courts will rule and they will disobey the courts. This is not a military era.
Okay, let me pick this call. Demola is calling us from London. Thank you so much for joining us, Demola.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to your panelists.
Good evening.
Mr. Titoju, good evening.
Good evening, I agree with you.
This issue of state police, I think it should be a welcome idea. Because looking at developed countries of the world, majority of them have their state police. And also they have their federal police. And also they have community police, as we have in the UK.
Yeah.
So I believe because of the security challenges we are having in Nigeria at the moment, it is important for us to have the state police. They don't really have to carry arms. They don't have to carry arms, and there should be law that will be binding. I understand where Mr. Otitoju is coming from, that if the state police are allowed, the state governors will use all those state police to their advantage. But there should be law that should guide them from using their power against state police. You cannot be a governor and go on the street and start authorizing people to slap your citizens because you are the state governor. It shouldn't be allowed. So any governor that does that should be prosecuted. I think
When they have immunity. They have immunity.
All right, Demola, I think the thing there is, what we're trying to look at there is that something that we are not looking at the merit of state police per se. We are saying Governor Wike is establishing his own neighborhood corps. And part of the framework is that they can carry arms.
Yeah.
Is we need to look at because so that it doesn't look like we are making up some of these things.
Okay, Jide,
Maybe later we can go into...
Let me quickly take this breather. When we come back, we're still on this. We'll talk more. Please, it's still Journalist Hangout. Stay with us after this time out. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Lagos, Nigeria, in our studio here in Lagos, Nigeria, and we are looking at the new law signed, the new bill signed into law by the Rivers State Governor, that's Wike, on this State Neighbourhood Watch Safety Corps. Jide, before we went on that breather, before you took that breather, you were about showing us something.
Okay. Under the objectives of the law, of the agency, number 1 is to establish a uniform neighborhood safety corps within the state with the power to carry arms with police permit. Now, power to carry arms with police permit. This police permit can be forged. It's just a way to put arms in people's hands. When they carry arms and they are going around, will you be asking a man who is armed whether he got permit to carry arms? Because the law permits them to carry arms. Secondly, that's the first one. E, section E, under the same objectives of the agency, says it shall be reducing the crime rate and ensuring that offenders are identified and made to account for their misdeeds. F, following up on arrest of offenders to the court and ensuring justice. These are the roles of the police. These are the roles of the police. There is no, the law, there cannot be another police in any state because the constitution is clear that there shall be one police. And so Nigeria, if you form a group, you call it Neighborhood Watch or Vigilante, and you make a law that permits them or a group or some of them to carry arms, you've already turned them to police or any of the security agencies.
Lego.
Actually, with the content of this law, you can actually understand why the IGP was particularly disturbed and could not hold back by giving his commissioner a dressing down publicly. Because it's definitely, this is a man who the president actually says something about him, that is close to dereliction of duty. So just imagine that Rivers State, with the deposit of our hydrocarbon reserves within the environment and the political challenges that we have seen in recent times, you would expect that not an individual or a state governor is taking a unilateral decision to empower some people with arms. And this brings us back to the issue of the state police. I believe as much as I support, as much as I know that is a fantastic initiative, Nigeria as a country is not ripe. It's not mature for that kind of direction. Because we are talking about the arbitrariness on the part of the governors and the rest of them, where they can call the policemen to do a lot of things. Look at the flip side, where the policemen are serving as, bag carriers for our excellencies. And some of them are even holding fires. If you have that, you will have many of them even serving as house helps for many of these VIPs and the rest of them. And we keep saying, exactly, so the purpose, the purpose will be defeated at the end of the day. So the guy, it's also inconceivable to imagine that the governor is a lawyer, he has a wife who is a justice. And you are putting out something of this nature that conflicting with the constitution of the country. So you now imagine the quality of leadership, the recruitment, and the governance that we are seeing in the country. So,
Asuko, there's something about River State I don't understand, because this. Asuko, there's something about River State I don't understand, because this is not a Yisan Wike thing alone. We had the Rotimi Amechi that was the governor and locked down the courts for months.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
The judiciary did not operate. Locked down. People were going to Bayelsa State for their litigation. What is it about at any point in time River State is in the news, and when election is coming, it's always a very, very difficult thing to to cover election in River State. I was in River State and I was praying to God, please just see me through. See me through. See me through.
Rivers is very peculiar. And it's very, very after Lagos, although Lagos is a calmer side of it,
honestly.
You understand? Then the Rivers is always, Rivers is just peculiar. The people there, maybe it's because it's bounded by mostly the people from the southeast. Because if you look at the Obiakpo people, the Ekwere people, most of them, once you speak, if you speak Igbo, they understand. And people from Aba and Co, they also stayed in Rivers. So they had I don't know.
Let me quickly take this call from Adeboyega. Adeboyega is calling us from Lagos. Thank you, Adeboyega.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I greet you all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Please, let me quickly say this. Let us stop attaching sentiment to some things that happen in this country. One, Nigeria is kind of a lawless country. A lot of people believe and depend on this constitution. Why? There are some cabals in this country that all bend the constitution to suit their own personal satisfaction. The decision Governor Wike took, let's imagine an IGP of a country that disobeys the order of the president. I think he doesn't even trust this police as a body anymore. Because they run on orders, maybe of federal order, because PDP, River State is a PDP state or something. So I think he needs people he can call on at the right time he needs them so that they can quickly come out to fight the battle they are supposed to fight for him. Because maybe he doesn't trust police. This situation where police take bribes, they keep people the way they like. I think those are the people he thinks could be of benefit to his state. Let's forget this constitutional thing or something like that. A lot of people have violated the rules and regulations that guide this country.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you.
The thing is, we can't live in an Obesian society. If there are laws, let's follow the laws. If because it is a PDP state, the APC federal government, there's a law, there's a constitution. If not, everybody will just start carrying arms and will start killing ourselves. So if the law says that the governor must ensure that the police is involved in the law, let him make sure that the police is in law. We are talking about Rivers. Rivers is very, very peculiar. In fact, any governor, anybody that emerges governor in Rivers, must have, like, it must be very, very, very tough. It must be tough. I know 8 years of Amechi wasn't easy.
Controversy.
Full of controversy. Every day he tried. Amechi, I remember then, Amechi tried a lot to make sure that peace returns to Rivers. Because then I know that there was a time, nightclubs, there were no nightclubs at all in Rivers. But when Amechi came in as governor, people started going out in the night. Unlike now, after the 2015 election, when once it's 7 o'clock, there are some places in Rivers you can't go. When once it's 7. So Rivers is very, very peculiar. And so just like Jide said, the new man there, his voice alone.
So rounding up with this, I think somebody somewhere will go to court and...
They're going to court.
Okay.
They're already in court.
How would that stop this?
No, it will be a long process. But once the courts rule that this is an illegal law, nobody can operate that law again. Because I'm sure the Supreme Court won't let this law see the light of day. You can sew uniforms for them. They can be going around, but their days are numbered. Because it is in direct contravention of the laws of our country.
But I fear by the time you start giving these guys arms.
But he said he's going to seek a license from the
From
police.
the police.
So
That one is already.
Just an opportunity.
Are you sure the hands are not even already on ground?
Okay.
That is the
Who
problem.
will even clear them to carry arms? Well, it's just
And the police that he didn't even involve in the first place.
We give regular updates on that. In 2014, when the People's Democratic Party, PDP, had the Aso Rock, more than 250 girls were kidnapped from Chibok in Borno State. Many of those girls are still being held captive. Fast forward to 2018 now, with the All Progressive Congress at the center of governance. And same-styled operation took place in Dapchi, Yobe State. On Monday, out of 110 schoolgirls kidnapped in Dapchi, at least 104 are home and safe now. And as many Nigerians continue to react to the news of the girls' return, the PDP says the Dapchi drama is a poorly crafted tragic comedy. It described the abduction and the release of the girls as a scam of no equal dimension. It said the incident was targeted to push President Muhammadu Buhari's 2019 re-election bid. These are weighty allegations, gentlemen. I spoke to you earlier this morning and we were talking about how divided this nation has been after the 2015 election. And in a situation whereby we are meant to be happy yesterday, what happened yesterday, we are meant to celebrate. We are meant to look at it that is a relief for the parents, as Jide said yesterday on the program, that if you're to be a father and your daughter happy and to celebrate with these people celebrating, and to give the government a pat on the back that whatever you did to achieve this, thank you. Well done. But the People's Democratic Party addressed a press conference yesterday and said, look, number one, I've even heard people said that the kidnapping and the whole saga was actually stage managed. That's why they had to come with boxes. A lot of, if you read Facebook, I don't like to react to comments on Facebook these days, but if you read the conspiracy theory, hey, they came there, okay, how did they get the bags? Then Lai Mohammed told them it was 3 a.m. that these girls were released. How come we now saw pictures of people during the time waving at Boko Haram people, and pictures of Boko Haram, people waving at Boko Haram, Yobe people, Dapchi people waving at Boko Haram surfaced and all over yesterday. The rest they say is history. Babajide.
Well, I would have been surprised if the PDP didn't do this, because they too suffered in the hands of the APC. I remember clearly people who are supposed to be educated Nigerians with thinking faculty saying that good Lord Jonathan created Boko Haram because he knew that he would never win an election in the Northeast. In fact, one of my correspondents was saying that, look, that they arrested some Boko Haram fighters and they actually came from the Niger Delta. I almost gave up on this country. And the height of it was what Babame Mongoro, a governor at that time, what he said in Aso Rock, in the meeting with the president, that it was the government of the day that was sponsoring Boko Haram, and that they were using helicopters to drop relief supplies to Boko Haram. It was so bad that the current Minister of Solid Minerals, Kayode Fayemi, from his own party, was the governor who addressed a press conference
and said he's on his own,
and said, look, we were not happy with what Murtala Nyako said. And that was what accelerated good Lord Jonathan's efforts to make sure that Babame Mongoro was impeached. Because at that time, that was what was saying. Meet the average Northeasterner, he would tell you that this thing was contrived, that, oh, that it is the government of the day that was fueling it, because they knew they would never win an election in that area. So it is history repeating itself. The kind of politics we play in Nigeria, the Nigerian politician is a disgrace. All he wants is to take advantage of any situation. The PDP have seen this opportunity now that, look, let's discredit what has been achieved.
Nothing is holding us together.
Let's
saying, with this, I'm with you.
Ayo.
That congratulations, Mr. President.
Is it common in our kind of politics for an opposition party to say, you did well? It's not in our culture. All they want to do is, this man has brought this children back. It is bad news for them. So all they want to do is discredit the administration. Discredit the administration. And the point is, there's a limit to which I, as a person, as a sincere person, there's a limit to which I can blame them. Because I'm telling you that when the shoe was on the other foot, this same thing happened. There was a fellow who published a picture of someone that looked like Shekau coming out of Aso Rock, and they were saying, look, this man, they had just given him some money so that he will continue killing people. I'm telling you, it's just that I can't mention names on air. If I mention names of people who were supposed to be educated, who were saying Boko Haram, that it was the government of the day that was behind the funding of Boko Haram, it didn't help us to solve the problem.
Honestly.
Because when you see the truth...
PDP people that at that time, they said they didn't even believe that those girls were kidnapped.
At that time, any great achievement of the Nigerian army, I will put it on Facebook. I realized that every time I posted it, many people who are supporting the government of the day today were not happy. Which means Nigerians, for political reasons, will show anger at the progress of their country, depending on which government is in power. We should be ashamed of ourselves that this is how we are.
On the side that
these children taken away by Boko Haram, you know that Boko Haram...
don't know for returning...
Today, to show you, do you know, I've seen videos of Shekau abusing the president, even threatening him with death. He did not just threaten this president with death, he threatened the president of Niger Republic. Now, someone will now be saying that this government will now connive with the terrorists, that they will deliberately withdraw soldiers. I've explained, even yesterday I said, when the terrorists want to return the girls, you must keep the soldiers away.
Part of the negotiation.
It's part of the negotiation because they will be scared that they will shoot them.
Of course.
Withdraw all securities.
Look, if I were a soldier, because I have lost friends to this war, if I was a soldier and a bosom friend of mine was killed by Boko Haram, do you think I will see a Boko Haram person walking away and I will not, I won't release sniper fire? I will. So they tell them, keep away so that they can safely deliver these girls without any problem. That's what some people are writing about, that they contrived the same way they withdrew soldiers the other day, they also withdrew them. It is rubbish. We shouldn't be thinking like this as a people.
Well, Lekon, what do you feel like? What do you make of this situation?
I think essentially...
PDP addressed a press conference yesterday and...
It's not particularly surprising to me because it's like PDP is taking its pound of flesh right now. And consistently, we have been seeing this happening in different dimensions. You know, maybe sometimes when a head of agency or government or minister gets to a place, the present government, the reference is going to be on the failure of the past administration. The purpose of us in electing you people is to correct the wrong of the past. You understand? We see in British parliaments, you know, leaders of the oppositions, you know, exchanging words, you know, engaging themselves on the level of ideas. Not when the Greenfield Tower, you know, went down in flames and somebody is now saying that it's the failure of Theresa May or it's because Jeremy Corbyn is not doing well, or you know, that is the kind of dirty politics that we have in our society, and we need to take our humanity back. You know,
as the keyword.
Exactly.
You lost it.
You've completely lost it.
You lost it.
You know.
5 of these girls died.
Exactly.
And we have no conscience. We are still contriving all kinds of theories.
We saw bags with them. Did Boko Haram go to the Boko Haram? Did they shop for the girls? Why were they with bags?
If you look at those bags,
look
at the picture. Let me tell you,
if you look at those
even
pictures,
if they had bags, if these people have a sense of history, when Boko Haram kidnapped Chibok girls, the first pictures of Chibok girls after they are kidnapped that we saw, they had given them a new uniform.
New hijab.
All of them, the Chibok girls are almost 100% Christian. But they put hijab on all of them. You saw it, full length hijab, not shoulder length. They put hijab on all of them. At the time they were kidnapped, were they wearing hijab? They must be wearing their uniform.
And they're all
even
wearing
these
the same
ones too.
hijab now.
Even these ones too, they
would
were
have been
wearing
sold
their
for them.
uniform when they kidnapped them. But they gave them dresses. And these girls have said they took good care of us. It's part of taking good care of people that you are keeping them for a whole month. You have to buy some dresses that they will wear. This is what has happened.
But the APC, the All Progressive Congress, they've not helped issues either. Bolaji Abdullah's press release yesterday was like, look, we did it better.
Exactly.
We did it better. That release yesterday was like, look, we did it better.
Exactly.
We did it better. That, yes, if you juxtapose this with what happened, Chibok girls, look, Mr. President, thank you, we did it better.
Some of the children died.
Listen, the thing is, in the first place, this shouldn't have happened. Because
Under their watch.
Under their watch. Because this is the same government or the same people who were castigating and criticizing the PDP when they were there. Cussing and saying, Chibok girls, it shouldn't have happened. A government that is this, a government that is that. Now it happened right in their very nose. And for 1 month, these girls were out. Until today, I don't know. But my own is, on Facebook, I saw Nigerians. We don't love ourselves.
And you look at the pattern. You discover that people from one part of the country, anything the president does.
No, don't say that.
No, it's not one part of the country, Ayo.
Don't say that.
It's across.
It's across now. It's across now.
It's across.
There are people in the past. Look, I have friends now. I have friends who in the past could die because of President Buhari. Today, if you see the way, I know friends who spent their money, who made memorabilia, caps and all kinds for President Buhari, who today don't want to hear about the president.
Remember,
so now, if you see that kind of person, and it could be Yoruba, it could even be Hausa.
Yes, exactly.
Look,
That's true.
You want me to show you what an Hausa person posted?
You're showing me the video.
So it's not a matter of tribe anymore. It's not a matter of tribe anymore. The spirit of cynicism has taken over a lot of Nigerians. And that spirit of cynicism ensures that even when someone is making sense and talking to them, they will just remain pig-headed.
Just like that.
Exactly.
And recording achievements.
So, and it will be very difficult for us to progress with that.
Once you doubt
another
year is
that
coming,
the government is doing,
and how we sure it's not going to get worse.
Yes. And it's exactly the reference that you made on the press release of the spokesperson of the APC. I was taken aback when I read the first line, saying that if the previous government had put in similar alacrity, that shouldn't be the case.
What is the alacrity that he's talking about? What is the alacrity? When did the concerted response even start?
Exactly.
Yeah. These are the people in government who ensure that our leaders don't make progress. Because when you see the truth, you don't even know about how to get it across.
They said we lost 5 children.
And you are saying that...
exactly, and those 105 that they've been released...
There's even one still in their hands. Because that one failed to convert to Islam. It's still in their hands.
Exactly.
And you are over-jubilating.
These kids are going through a lot of psychological trauma and all that. And the response that we are getting is in that direction. It's a shame.
The Boko Haram came back. They said they had a message for them, and they said the children should not go to school. That they should not go to school. And don't you think this is like a setback?
The government should be worried.
We should be worried about that. It means
the girl-child education in the north will be affected.
Because parents will now...
Of course,
even some of them
already... They're begging them
like a threat.
Ayo,
it's a threat.
What it means is that already some of those parents have been saying, no, these children won't go back to school.
Simple.
Yeah.
Now with that threat...
Especially that school. They told them.
No, with that threat, that school, any school at all, with that threat, they will now say, these people came to our country. People have lost hope in the ability of government to protect them. Because if they have faith in the ability of government to protect them, they won't fear the repercussion. But with this now, they will say, if we let these children go back to school, these guys will come and they will take them away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I have Damilare. Damilare is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Damilare.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody in the house.
Good evening. Good evening.
Go ahead, Damilare. We're pressed for time.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
My own opinion regarding this is that how come we if at all it is that easy to release the 2 girls, why not the same administration tried to do the same for the remaining of the Chibok girls. To me, it looks like a stage play. Thank you.
I didn't hear them live very well.
I think it's trying to say, why didn't they release the Chibok girls before the
The same way. They
said
negotiate
everything's negotiation.
Because this one was the kidnapping was done by a group, a faction.
Okay.
The faction, the Albanawi faction, is easier to negotiate. Exactly. I was reading on Facebook, one guy, it was even on my wall, and he said, look, Chibok girls were kidnapped by a different faction. But that's not true. At the time that the Chibok girls were kidnapped, Boko Haram had not broken up into faction. Boko Haram broke into factions in August 2016. That was when they broke into faction. So at that time, it was one Boko Haram. And what did they do? They split the girls. Albanawi has some girls. He even announced that he had 88 Chibok girls. So Shaikau has his own. So when you want to negotiate for the Chibok girls, you must negotiate with both parties.
Exactly.
And the Shekau may not be willing to negotiate at a time when this one is willing to negotiate. So it's more problematic. But with this group, with these other guys, it's a lot easier. And they contacted the woman earlier. You know? So that is the thing. If we even listen, I'm happy with that girl who gave us a hint of what happened. She said they were ferried with boats. You will know that they took them to this stronghold of Albanawi, which is in the Lake Chad area. So because they said they were using boats, you know.
Lekon, finally.
I think one of the important steps to be taken now is for the government to renegotiate its negotiation with these people. Because right now, personally, I don't feel comfortable with a term of negotiation or reference as suspected that after releasing the girls, they should not go to school. And an individual should renounce his religion because of the fact that it's not in conformity with what they believe. So we can use that opportunity to defeat the ideology of terrorism.
Yeah, because Leah, I think that's her name, is still with them. The government should do everything. Because I know the American government, even if it's one person with the terrorists, they will do everything to make sure that the person, so the government must ensure that she returns back to.
And that's what the Residents Association in Dapchi are saying, that as long as that girl is still there, that the government should not jubilate. They must bring that girl back. Bring her back. Those who have lost their lives, well, that's the way God willed it. But they must bring that girl back.
Thank you, Lekon Fatodu. Asuko James, thank you for being part of this edition. And Babajide Kolade Otstoju, thank you. And that's our offering for Journalist Hangout today. Watch the repeat broadcast 11 p.m. I am Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.